Welcome to another episode of Pardon the Disruption, where we have our experts and leaders to discuss topics around real estate and business. My name is Xander. I'll be your host for today. And Weasel's actually out for today, so I'm here to substitute for him. But we want to go ahead and have our forecast and introduce them. If we can start with Steve.
Yeah, Steve Trang. I got the podcast Real Estate Disruptors, watching it on this channel right now. Sales trainer, wholesaler, got apartments, bought a bank recently, and just love to really talk shop. And I got some of the best and brightest in the industry to talk shop with in this episode.
CJ.
Yeah, Chris Jefferson, Richmond, Virginia. I run Charged Up University, where I teach people how to get started in wholesaling or how to scale their wholesale business. I got started out as a wholesaler 12 years ago. I've done everything from fix and flip, new construction, apartments. Always here weekly with the hot take and taking the belt every time. All right.
With some freebie votes.
Hey guys, I'm RJ Bates III. I want to personally welcome Leon Barnes to the panel. He is Eric Brewer's backup. So far through 2 episodes, Eric averages 1 point, 0 rebounds, and 5 fouls. So Leon, welcome to the panel. You must be a stud player to be his backup.
Well, I'll take that. I'll be Eric Brewer's backup any day. But I feel like if I'm going to be on this panel, I got to have a cool name like everyone else. So it is Leon Barnes, but today it's Leon G. Barnes because you got Eric Brewer the first and RJ Bates the third and CJ the great. All these great names. So I'm going with Leon G. Barnes, and the G stands for hopefully there's no vote gate on my first episode.
And Leon.
You like that, Xander?
That was a really good intro. That's good. For the people that are new watching, we will be discussing some topics. They'll be on the bottom end of the screen. Each of you guys will have 1 minute to discuss your take on that topic. After everyone has gone, you guys will have 2 minutes to rebuttal. We will be timed. When you start, you will hear this. And when your times is up, you will hear this. All right. For the people that are watching, if you guys do have any questions, and there will be a voting system on the chat. So please vote on whose side you pick. So let's get started. Topic 1. What is the best marketing flow for wholesalers?
Who's up first?
Let's go with Leon.
I knew you were going with me, and I was ready and prepared because I know the first question that was asked last week, Steve got hammered because he was not prepared. So I came prepared for this today. And the answer is this. The answer is it depends. It depends on where you are in your business. If you're just starting out, you probably aren't going to be able to afford television and direct mail and some of these other capital intensive types of marketing. So if you're in the first 1 to 5 years of your business and you're working with guys like CJ and RJ, you're probably best bet to start out cold calling, texting, driving for dollars, bandit signs, all of those types of entry level forms of marketing. Personally, I can tell you from helping run the Collective Genius and all the 300 plus members that we have, that's the biggest difference between the people that are long-term in the business is they're spending a lot of money on marketing versus the people that are grinding, doing the cold calling and texting out of the gates.
Time is up. Can we move on to RJ?
I appreciate Leon coming on and having zero opinion as his first response. Thank you, Leon, for proving that you're definitely a backup. Okay, so best marketing flow for wholesalers is you pull a list, you then skip trace it, you SMS, then you put it into a dialer, you cold call it, you go back to SMS, you're then going to text on motivating factors, so whether that's pre-foreclosure, tax defaults, inherited, whatever it is, you're going to pick specific motivating factors. You're going to text that. Then you're going to cold call that. Then after you've done that twice, you're going to send direct mail to the specific motivating factors that you know are highly motivated, whether it's 2, 3, 4 specific tags like pre-foreclosure, tax default, vacant. You send direct mail to them.
let's go with Steve.
All right. So I think there's two different answers, right? Depending on what season you are in your career. If you're further ahead, right? I think TV, from what I've seen, the best operators in the country, that is the most profitable. If you got, again, deep enough pockets, that is going to bring in the most revenue, the most profit, and with the least amount of effort. But if you're newer in your career, then texting, from what I've seen across the country, is the most effective for cost per deal, right? It's a little bit more effort, but cost per deal, texting is the most effective. I wish I could do it. I don't, because I think I have a pretty big target on my back. So for TCPA reasons, I stopped texting a while ago. But if you're newer, I think texting is the best way to go.
And last but not least,
Yeah, so
CJ.
I'll just actually answer the question, I guess. So, all right, so simply put, right? Like, if you got to have a marketing flow, we call it the three-headed monster. You want to hit with RVMs, you want to hit with SMS, and you want to hit with cold calling. I hear Steve on the violations. Proceed at your own risk. When you go to the swimming pool, it says 10 feet. It says dive, no diving. All right, you dive at your own risk. All right, so figure that out yourself. When it comes to the second tier, because I hear that argument, hey, if you're not entry level, if you're a little bit more advanced, I hear the direct mail, I hear the TV, I hear the radio. Leon, look, I know a lot of older timers, all right, are doing those methods, and they seem to be working great for you guys still. But if you really want to hit this thing on the head and make a lot of money, PPC, if you have the budget, is where the money is at. Thank me later. Trust me.
See,
And-
RJ, I was right the whole time. It was a depends answer. It didn't say best marketing flow for new wholesalers. It said wholesalers.
Right. You were the one that gave it, well, hey, there could be multiple different ways. It's the best marketing flow. I gave very specific. Someone could actually listen to my 45 seconds and go do that and succeed. If they listen to you, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Hey, this is a family program, RJ. Family program.
Oh, they wouldn't know what to do. There you go.
PG-13. PG-13.
all right, well, I guess that was it for that. Let's move on to the. Looks that way.
I'll jump in on that real quick. Can I jump in on that real quick?
Yeah.
I think
You have the
it's
last
very
word.
budget specific. Yeah, I think it's very budget specific. At the end of the day, when people have different varying budgets when they get into the business, you have to have a solid budget to do direct mail. Direct mail definitely works, but you've got to have a decent chunk of change to spend to get letters and postcards out at 38, 40 cents a pop. Cold calling, direct mail, RVMs are most cost effective. And we call it the street sweeper, AR-15, man. You hit the whole block, man. We're not shooting a sniper rifle here, all right?
Just remember, everyone, when you guys are doing this, I think it's a great avenue when you're getting started. Just, make sure you know what you're doing as far as TCPA compliance. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying make sure you know what risk you're taking.
Full recap of the first round was CJ completely just backtracked off of his initial answer there. He should have just kept his mouth shut.
It was all accurate. All accurate.
End of round one. Complete landslide for RJ. It's over today, boys and girls. I can't do it today.
He's already gone third person. You lose. You've gone third person.
Oh, man. I knew at some point RJ was going to bring his VAs into the mix.
We're waiting for the results to come in, guys. We're waiting the results to come in.
All VAs for all 50 states.
Oh, RJ, you took it.
I should just.
I could already tell by the way he's smiling. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one. Would you want someone like KD, Kevin Durant, on your team? A sharpshooter, someone who closes, but is toxic for your culture? If we can start with Steve.
Yeah, so I mean, as a Suns fan, right? Like, we definitely want KD. We want to hire him as for a mercenary, right? But KD, is not the kind of person you want on your team if you've got a business. They're going to come and they're going to close deals, and the short term is going to be awesome because they're closing deals, but in the long term, they're going to hurt your company culture. You're going to have higher turnover. People aren't going to feel listened to. They're not going to feel heard. You're going to have people leaving or not working as hard because you got one guy who's always playing hero ball and upsetting the fellow team members and maybe, overpromising the sellers, causing cancellations, causing a bad reputation for your company. So for our sales team, we do not want someone like KD who is toxic to the team culture.
RJ.
I absolutely want Kevin Durant, and going to that specific example of him as a player, you can see Golden State Warriors were able to win championships with having Kevin Durant on the team. It's the Brooklyn Nets' fault why this turned into a toxic culture, and they weren't, because of lack of leadership. So for me, I'm putting myself on the hot seat and saying it's my job to make sure that the company culture doesn't become toxic because of KD. So in that circumstance, I absolutely want one of the best players in existence to be on my team. And it's my job to set the company culture, to make sure that I have proper leadership and don't allow him to become toxic to the rest of the team, just like they did in Golden State, and just like no one else has been able to do with him on their team. So kudos to Steve Kerr and all of them, but yeah, I want them on. I want KD on.
We
my
need more
team.
buzzers.
It's CJ.
Not loud enough.
All right, listen, I'm taking KD 365 days a year to be on my team. All right, I think it's leadership hands down, and it comes down to coaching at the end of the day. All right, greatness needs great coaching. All right, and so I think that's all that Kevin Durant has really truly been missing. He had that opportunity with Steve Kerr. I think the other thing that was great that we saw with Golden State, and this is an analogy to really using your own businesses at the end of the day and how you manage talent, great talent at that. Steve Kerr or Steph Curry knew how to take a back seat. That's called power. Power is being able to move somebody from point A to point B without them knowing that you moved them. And Steph Curry visibly took a back seat for Kevin Durant. It resulted in a championship. I just think it needs proper management. He regrets, I'm sure, leaving Golden State. If you got talent on your team, you got to nurture, manage that talent, know who you're dealing with, and make sure you make effective decisions.
Leon.
Hell yes, I'm taking Kevin Durant. I mean, you're talking about arguably a top 10 player of all time. I would argue that him being toxic has everything to do with the organization, very similar to what RJ and CJ said. All-star talent, Hall of Fame talent needs Hall of Fame leadership. That is a coaching and a leadership problem. Culture eats strategy and competition all day, but the reality is you've got to make sure that you give him an environment that he keeps rising up. You think Kobe Bryant, you wouldn't take Kobe Bryant on your team? He was arguably toxic to his team, but you would take him. Figure out a way to make that Hall of Fame talent work within your culture by being a better leader.
So you guys have never had like a good player or a good team or a good team member that was able to produce results but was toxic to the team? I mean,
yeah, but they weren't a Hall of Famer, Steve.
Right.
That guy's a Hall of Famer, a top 10 all-time talent. If you would have said someone else, a lesser player on there, we would have said no, you kick him out.
Right.
But you said KD.
But we get players, right? We get team members that can close deals. We get team members that are good, right? We talk like Mavericks, right? On the profile, on the PI profile, and these guys are upsetting team members, right? They're not doing what needs to be done, right? As far as putting in notes, responding to the administrative team, not working with Dispo, not working with TC, right? They're divas. And if they're upsetting the team culture everywhere they've been, right? He couldn't play with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, right? He couldn't stay with Draymond Green because he was beefing with Draymond Green. He couldn't work again with James Harden and Kyrie in Brooklyn. Like at some point, the problem is the guy and not the teams.
What was the problem, KD, or was it Kyrie? And the other thing is going back to the business analogy here. I think all of us are saying we want our opportunity to be able to lead that player, showcase our ability.
But let's say you do it. So I guess the context here, right? If you're leading him and he still isn't working within the team structure, within the confines of the team, would you keep him?
I don't think we've seen where he isn't working within a team structure, though. I think what we've seen is he's not happy with the work of the team that he chose himself around him, and that's why I say leadership. If he had proper leadership,
well, so let's talk about coaching. In your sales organization, right? You got a guy that's closing 50% of his appointments, right? He's producing, but everyone in your company hates working with him, and you've had multiple meetings with him. Do you keep that guy?
Yeah, I would keep that guy for sure, and I'd figure out a way to work with him. And how I would probably look at doing that is how can I increase what his take is? All right, because it's always going to come down to money at the end of the day. How can I figure out how to help increase his take, and how do I lead him better to whatever his back end goal is? Somebody that works at that type of level, somebody that puts in that type of work to be that good at what they do, to have a 50% close ratio, they are looking for something greater than base level. And you have to figure out how to help identify what that is and either partner with them in that opportunity if they're that good of a closer, right?
Yeah.
And then retain that talent, because if not, they leave Golden State, they end up in Brooklyn. Grass isn't always green on the other side. Now we're talking
Steve,
about a trade back.
the key question is here that we haven't answered is, does he fit the core values? If
Right.
he or she hits the core values, you keep them. If they do not, you can find another producer. If they do not fit your core values, simple as that.
Wow, guys, that was really interesting. Good takes. For the first time ever, we have a tie, and it was with Leon and RJ, correct? Yeah, Leon and RJ.
Half a point. I'm in.
I don't know
That's
if we can do
zero.
half
On the
points.
board.
That's zero for
Manny,
everybody.
can we do
On the
half
board.
points here?
Half a point. I'm on the board, boys.
That's zero for
Let's
everybody.
go.
We'll do a tiebreaker at the end.
Leon is already better than Eric.
All right, Eric's off.
It's already been
Sorry,
replaced.
E-money's gone.
All right, moving on to the next topic. Do you prefer to hire with experience or with zero experience in real estate? Let's start with Leon.
So RJ's going to kill me for the first word out of my mouth, which is it depends. Okay, if you're hiring a bookkeeper, you want someone with accounting experience, right? But if you're hiring for other positions that are not specialty positions, I would argue that you do not need experience. I started my real estate experience in real estate investing with zero experience. I spent 11 years in corporate America in a sales role. I had zero real estate experience. I've listened to the person I'm subbing for, Mr. Eric Brewer, talk about systems and processes. You can, with the right systems and processes, you can teach anyone how to do all the roles within this business. So unless it's a specialty position, I don't need experience.
CJ.
Yeah, I'm going no experience almost every single time. Like Leon said, unless it's a specialized position. I think being able to nurture somebody from the beginning when the information is completely fresh, they're not overly influenced by every Facebook group and YouTube video and every single thing else out there. And you can literally take somebody. All you need is just two things. You need energy and you need consistency. If somebody has those two values about themselves, you can turn them into a killer in this business easily.
Steve.
So for me, I want someone with no real estate experience, but I do want a track record of success outside of real estate. You know, in a perfect world, you killed it in sales and you want to get into real estate, or you've been a killer operator for another organization, but you want to get into real estate, right? So I'm looking for someone with a track record of success, but not in real estate. And I think the things that I really love seeing on a resume is debt collector. I mean, you've been hung up on and screamed at by everybody else. I love debt collector on the resume, and I love door-to-door sales, especially if you sold religion, right? Like if you told me you were a missionary at one point, we love to have you at our company, right? So for us, experience, track record success outside of real estate. If you have experience in real estate, not really excited to have you in.
RJ.
Did you just say sell religion?
Yes. I mean, what are you doing when you're overseas for 2 years?
RJ.
All right, so Leon's automatically disqualified for this one, and I'm bringing that up because he appears to be my only competition today. Because he brought up accounting and whatnot. It says experience or zero experience in real estate. That's not accounting. So Leon's disqualified, okay? I want no experience whatsoever because we have systems and processes specifically to titanium, the way that we do it. I want to bring them in, show them exactly how we do it, and then just rinse and repeat this. Everybody on our floor does everything the exact same way. I don't want someone coming in and saying, well, this is how Chris Jefferson told me to do it. I don't care. Chris is very subpar to what we do here at Titanium. I don't want you to do things the way Chris Jefferson does it, okay? So that's why I want zero experience.
And rebuttals?
RJ, if you want me to compete again, that bad. All right, like just put the bat signal, put the lightning bolt in the air, and we might be able to negotiate the proper pay. All right.
So you guys that don't know, there was RJ's really bitter because he sent a deal to Chris, and Chris didn't sign the envelope. Chris opened the envelope in DocuSign and didn't sign the contract, and RJ's really pissed about it.
That's exactly what happened. He pretended like he was in Miami at some bigwig event. Sure. All right.
So since I'm RJ's only competition today, I've got to have this said. You own a real estate business and you need a CFO. Are you hiring a CFO without experience?
Are you asking me?
You know,
Yes,
I like Leon.
because
I like Leon's style, right? He's got a good hedge game. All right, he's able to hedge his answers strong. He can play two answers at the same time.
I want a CFO to come in with zero experience because we've already established our processes for how we do handle our accounting. So yes, I don't want experience coming in that position.
Bold
I'm
answer.
blown away by that answer, but
bold
okay.
answer.
I mean, yes, blown away
Yeah,
by
that's
that
a little
answer.
bold on the CFO. That's a bold on the CFO. I don't
Well,
know about
my
zero.
CFO is 1/3 of my partnership. So I mean, I'm not going to be hiring for that position anytime soon. But if we are, then we're probably going to replace them internally with someone we brought in with zero experience.
Confidently wrong. I love it.
Okay.
I'm confidently in the lead by 20%. So the
Yes.
masses say,
Well, we can't
you
trust your
are
math,
wrong
obviously.
and I'm right.
I mean, by your last answer, we definitely can't trust your math.
Keep going, VAs. You click those votes for RJ Gates the third, baby.
Vote Gates on again.
That was good, guys. That was good, guys. The winner of that one was definitely RJ. Good job.
What the heck is going on?
RJ's got the bots
Yeah.
going on.
I want
That's
my
a
half
bad
point is
right
what I
today.
want, Xander. I want my
Yeah,
half
I
point up
might have
there.
to send my IT department to look into
CJ,
it.
you've been winning for like 3 straight weeks. Like, you need to calm down. You need to chill out.
Xander, I need you to change that scoreboard down there at the bottom so everyone knows the landslide that's happening right now.
I have Manny get on it. Don't worry.
I think
about
we're gonna have to start having people like register like their Instagram handle or their first and last name on their votes. You can't vote unless you actually register now with all this craziness going on over here.
it. We got the scoreboard
Steve Trey,
added over here,
Donald
Leon.
Trump a part of the disruption.
What was that?
I said you're the Donald Trump of pardon the disruption. They have to register to vote.
I'm gonna have an algorithm set in place to track where you guys are all voting from. Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. Is today's social media climate make industry professionals less effective in their actual industry? Let's start with RJ.
I'm going to go with yes, it does make them more effective because I feel like that's going to be the controversial answer here. I think because there are people out there that do fake it till they make it on social media, it gets a bad rap. But I think because of our ability to put ourselves out there constantly and consistently, I feel like I personally have gotten better in my industry due to social media, putting myself out there and basically putting my back against the wall has made me better at closing, my marketing flow, almost everything in my business. I can say due to social media, I have gotten better over the course of time. So I think it does help benefit influencers in that in their own industry become better at it. I do.
Leon.
So I guess I'm up on this one. I'll take what CJ said earlier about old timers because at 45, apparently I'm an old timer, which I'll take that. I got it. I'll take it. It makes them more effective. And here's why. I have seen those old timers, as CJ mentioned earlier, I have seen them gravitate over the last 2 years and talk about followers and how they're utilizing that within their industry, within their markets to be the authority in the marketplace. You used to have to be on television or some other medium to be able to become that authority in your marketplace. It has allowed even the old timers that don't know how to get on a smartphone, it has allowed them to become their authority in their marketplace. And I have seen it be more effective for them in their industry.
Steve.
Well, I don't know how RJ's winning because he can't read, but no, it does not make him less effective, right? I think if you're chasing likes, you're chasing followers, then yes, it'll make you less effective. But if you're documenting what you're doing in business, right? If you're sharing what's working for you, you're sharing the successes and the failures, what happens, it gives you credibility. People know that you're actually in the business, and because they know you're in the business, you're top of mind. And because you're top of mind, you're gonna get more referrals, right? People are going to be sending you deals, sending you transactions, asking you for help closing these deals, asking you to mentor them, right? So I think that it does not make you less effective. It makes you more effective if you know how to use the tool the right way.
And CJ.
Yeah, so look, I absolutely think that being on social media makes you more effective. And look, I think everybody hears social media when they think content and producing or putting out content. Everybody likes to think about instructional or educational content. But what we're really, I think, talking about as effective is just actionable content. Talking about the deals that you're doing, talking about when you're going to put out bandit signs, or like Leon, you're sending out putting out bandit signs and sending out mailers, or making phone calls, or just sending out text or whatever. Talk about the action you're taking within your business. You'll start to extend credibility to yourself. That's when you start to get noticed by lenders, buyers in your market. You expand your network, your opportunities. You should 110% be talking about what you are doing, not always necessarily trying to teach every time you get on a camera.
What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm glad everyone agreed with me. So that was awesome. I think the things you guys always have to be careful of is making sure you're not chasing the wrong things, right? You're not chasing the likes, you're not chasing the followers. I mean, you see people buying followers, right? You see people buying engagement. And all that does every time you do it is cause you to lose respect from your peers that you're trying to gain, right? You're trying to gain the respect in the industry. All it does is cause you to lose respect. So I think, don't chase the wrong thing, right? Be helpful, provide content that helps people, and it'll make you more valuable. Chase the wrong things, you'll be less valuable.
Think about how much more effective Steve Trang is after the past 4 years of sitting there for 60 to 90 minutes a week, talking to the best industry professionals, and he adds no value whatsoever.
Zero.
Think about how much better he is now. I mean, honestly, he makes us fly all the way to Phoenix just to stare at him, where he adds zero value whatsoever.
If I understand correctly, it helped you do more deals because you're on my show. So zero value is a pretty strong statement.
Yeah, but I would argue and agree here with RJ that your podcast makes you look like an interesting conversation, frankly. I mean, It really has helped with you looking like an extrovert when you're truly an introvert.
Thank you guys for the backhanded compliment. I appreciate that.
You're so welcome. But to add to this last point here is I have seen people use social media over the last few years to gain great employees. We're talking about culture, showing your culture, doing the right things, and helping people attract right talent, attract investors, and do deals because of their social media following. So it is definitely something that done the right way can help you and be more effective in this industry.
All right, guys. That was actually pretty good.
I won.
That was actually a really good take. Well, I think that RJ has his VAs really working this today because
Yeah,
he's
he
52%. Like,
absolutely
this
has
is
to be,
crazy.
man. He has to be.
He's got the entire team in his mastermind working here.
The entire titanium crucible is out there for him.
52%.
How is it that Steve has all these followers and yet he is yet to win, right? I don't think you've won yet. Have you, Steve?
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
So
They
good
always
job,
show up
RJ.
for the guests, Leon.
So for the next question, before we get to the next question, we will be picking a question that's in the chat. So if you are watching, if you want one of these guys to answer your guys' next question, definitely put it in the comments below. Last on our topic is if you do real estate anymore, I'm sorry, if you cannot do real estate anymore, what's your new business? Let's start with Leon.
So for me, this is a pretty simple one. I'm a real estate investor, but I'm also leader of a peer-to-peer group in the real estate industry. Like Steve, who helps a lot of people with acquisition, sales training, I would see myself with a business that help people onboard and retain talent. The biggest thing in this industry for real estate or any small business, having worked B2B for a very long time, is it's super hard for small business owners to hire, retain, and attract talented people. Those Kevin Durant's to come in to build to your culture. It's really hard for people to do that. For me personally, I look at where there's an opportunity for small businesses, it's hiring and helping them train and maintain talent. That's the business that I would go with based upon what I know with small businesses.
CJ.
Yeah, so this one's pretty easy for me. I'm 110% going to say internet marketing. I believe in digital real estate. I believe in the power of the internet. I've owned a couple of different digital businesses. There's not really anything else that I've been able to see that is really kind of equivalent when it comes to velocity of what you can build with an online brand, an online business, an online product like e-commerce or Amazon stores, whatever the case might be. So for me, I would 110% be down the rabbit hole of internet marketing. Being able to get a product out to mass very quickly, get traffic to that product, and be able to convert that into sales and to create revenue. I don't know other ways that you could do that as fast with that type of rapid velocity.
Steve.
So for me, I'm assuming that, if we're not in real estate, you can't be a real estate guru like RJ. So what I would do is I would perhaps be a sales consultant, right? I mean, I would think that there are a lot of Fortune 500 companies that, sales is the lifeblood of their business. And I think that if real estate was not an opportunity, I would come in and help their salespeople get better at acquiring or selling products to customers. In a way, I would be a mercenary for hire, kind of like our friend Kevin Durant. So I would just come here, help organizations get more efficient at sales, and that would be the business I would be pursuing.
RJ?
Well, since I am the #1 closer in the nation and I can't do real estate anymore, the only thing that I know better than real estate is sports. So I would go be a sports agent. That's something that I was extremely passionate about sports. I wanted to do something sports related growing up, either a coach or a sports agent. And I think I would take the skill set that I have now with negotiating contracts and just negotiations, period. And I would go chase my passion of sports and have fun, signing these, $100 million contracts for the top talent in the world. That sounds extremely fun and lucrative for me.
So you'd be like a
All
Stephen
right,
A.
so
Smith that doesn't have any athletic ability and get
we
involved
got
in
to hear
sports.
how would RJ handle Kevin Durant if he were his client? I got to hear this.
I would get him on one of those #1 seed teams that he wants to be. Well, actually, I'd probably convince him to come to Dallas just so he can play with Luka, so we can get a championship here in Dallas.
Yeah, so no one else shoots other than those two guys. That's a great team.
Absolutely, baby.
I'm gonna start calling RJ McGuire.
Yes.
And,
who's coming with him?
Yeah, he's going to be the head of the league minimum contracts. He's going to be the expert agent for league minimum contracts. It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing.
So basically, me signing Leon to a contract for today.
Oh, very nice. Well played. Well played. I like how you brought that back to me.
Am I winning again? I'm winning again. I basically just made up an answer on the spot. I still beat you guys.
We're purposely giving
that
people more
tells you-
time so that they can vote for someone else.
Yeah, that tells you the fix is in. If you're just saying random things and you're winning, the fix is in. We're okay with that, I guess, at this point.
People were tired of Chris Jefferson III. That's what I'm saying. You disrespected me last week.
Well, there's no denying this one. It's also RJ at 58%.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm gonna have to assume that everyone here is just here for RJ.
Everyone here is from the Titanium Crucible. I get it.
We got to work on this. If I'm going to come back, which I know I'm going to be invited back at this point, we've got to work on this voting.
Well, good for you, Leon. You have a really large network, so you better get them to get on to watch the show.
Apparently.
Let me check RJ's email list real quick. And
yeah,
see
check
what
the
got
email
blasted
blast.
out today.
Are we getting email blasted from RJ about going to vote for him?
RJ's giving
Very
away
good.
money for them to vote for him.
Y'all's performance today is almost as bad as Aaron Bevins in the 2021 closer. That's all I'm saying.
The votes are changing. The votes are changing.
Aaron caught in the crossfire today, but caught in the crossfire.
And we're gonna go ahead and end the voting poll, and let's see who wins.
Really?
Oh, no,
Do we need to go to the poll?
It was Chris. It was Chris Jefferson for a moment, and then RJ pulled through with the last 10 votes. Unbelievable! In 2.5 seconds, he clearly has a bot from China at this point.
Wait, so let me just get this straight. So everybody wants to go now be a sports agent with the
That's
extremely
right.
long beard that signs league minimum contracts like RJ
right.
Bates the third. This is preposterous.
So far, everything has actually been pretty good, guys. We
Well,
have
this is
one
we
more.
got a tie. This is a tie. 40%.
Is it tied?
40%.
I'll definitely confirm with my staff in the
Wait,
back.
it's tied actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it ended up being a
All right.
tie.
Half point for both of y'all.
Loving these half points.
Your
Welcome to the
congratulations.
club, Chris.
I know, man.
Finally on the board. All right, so this last question is actually pretty interesting. Should be good. If you guys, if you could make your best employees, or I'm sorry, should you make your best employee sign a non-compete? Let's start with CJ.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I think in theory, non-competes aren't going to hold up very well in court. I can tell you that much, for sure. I think you can set a nice precedent up front, where you can create a non-compete opportunity. But how I look at my business, man, I'm not looking to hire anybody that I'm looking to restrict. I've never wanted somebody to restrict me from my goals, restrict me from my dreams. I'm not looking to necessarily do that to somebody else either. When somebody comes to work for me, I'm trying to have a unique conversation with them to find out what they are really, truly looking to do. And I want to know how I can support them in that, in partnership, in the work, and help them kind of reach those goals. So I kind of probably have a different perspective on that. I'm not somebody that's like freaking out about somebody knowing exactly how I'm running my business or my strategies, because I teach it to everybody and I'm authentic about it all the time anyway.
RJ.
Absolutely not. I do not want to put any sort of restraint like that on anybody that works. Listen, our slogan here is create your own reality. Okay. Why would I be afraid that they're going to go out one day and want to create their own business? That's graduation day. That's what I want them to be able to go do. I want them to be able to go do what they need to do for their own legacy. And so I absolutely don't want to put any kind of constraint on that. I'm not afraid of them wanting to go work for one of our competitors because our competitors are subpar. I've already explained that with Chris Jefferson, and you've seen that today. So why would I be afraid that they're going to go work for CJ? That's just not going to happen. So absolutely not.
Steve.
So for me, you guys heard me say I want to create 100 millionaires, and that starts actually with the people within our organization. So I want everyone in our organization to do well, to make a lot of money. And if they decide like, hey, you know what, appreciate everything done for me, I'm ready to go off on my own, I wish them nothing but the best. I have never burned a boat. I've never burned a bridge, right? If people go off to do bigger things, they want to chase their dreams, like I'm all for it, right? I'm not opposed to it. So yeah, for me, we do not make our employees sign non-competes, except for Weasel on a media team. He's not allowed to do media outside of disruptors, but besides Weasel, everyone else is off free to go do their own thing.
And Leon.
I guess I'm going to be the a-hole of the group and be the only one that says that you not only should have your best employees sign a non-compete, you should have all your employees sign a non-compete. My guess is this question comes from the perspective of the newer investor, and you probably don't have your business at the level that RJ and Chris and Steve have developed their business to. I hear way too many. In fact, today I had a conversation with an investor that had 2 employees that left his business. And I would, as RJ and Chris stated earlier, it's more on him than it is on that employee. But I am also a big fan of non-competes because it sets the tone that we're going to train you. We're going to give you everything that you need to be successful. And this is the standard of our organization. My goal is to make sure that you make as much money and you are able to do all the things that you want to do. But we have established from the beginning that you're not going to leave this company and start your own company.
Fellas, rebuttal?
So I think for me, right, I look at our job as visionaries, as business owners, is to create a vision large enough that everyone can fit in it. Like I look at, there's not a lot of people out there that can, but you got Elon Musk wanting to go to Mars. Like whatever I'm trying to do, I can fit within him trying to go to Mars, right? So I think for us, our passion is, again, create a vision large enough that they can hit their goals while we're hitting our goals. And if they can't accomplish their goals within what we're trying to do, then this isn't going to be the place for them.
Well, like CJ said, I'll remind everyone that I'm apparently very old, and I've always had to sign non-competes in corporate America and beyond. And I can tell you that you can, an employee within your system can reach all their goals and still understand that they cannot leave your company and go to work for competition, and everything still have great culture within your company. You can accomplish both.
Sounds like if I got a job with Leon, I have to wear a suit every day. So that's not my jab. I don't know
Yeah,
if Steve,
you get fired first day, Chris. Sorry.
no question.
And you would
no
look terrible in the
question.
suit.
I'd
offense.
I'd kick in the door because I'd be closing at 50%. Okay. Really
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Exactly.
You know, when it comes to Steve, I'm not sure if that was like an info. Like, did we take a commercial break for hiring over there? Like, everybody that works there is going to be a millionaire.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if like, are you trying to get some of my students to come work for you or something? Like, what's going on?
I'm trying to get RJ to work for me.
Well, if he wants to make $1 million, he should.
CJ, how come you think you could close at a 50% clip, but the one time we've gotten to see you actually try to clip, you fumbled that ball faster than anyone
Did he
I've
have,
ever seen?
did he have zero closings? Did he have zero closings, RJ?
Oh my God.
I can't remember.
What's that?
Do we have to go back to the tape? Did CJ have zero closings during the Closers Olympics?
Zero closes.
Okay, but 50%. All right. All
The
right.
sweetest, nicest elderly lady of all time, and he just dropped the ball.
Yeah, he whiffed it. He whiffed it bad.
Get the replay and watch that, man.
He whiffed it bad.
That. Shout out to Carlos Reyes, man. Shout out to Carlos.
No, you didn't. One last thing, Xander, before you cut us off. Leon's wrong. That's it.
Well, I have to,
But Leon won.
it looks like RJ, you won again. Damn it.
Oh, come on. Nah, dude. Man, you gotta lie and just say I won on that one.
It's tied. It looks like it's still on. It's tied. CJ, what are you doing? You got your VAs coming in here too?
Nah. That's RJ's team. They're trading on him already, man. They're like, what is this guy, Chris?
This is the episode of half points. Unbelievable.
Real quick. Hey, Chin, go ahead and vote for CJ real quick. I'm on my VAs to vote for you real quick, CJ, so you feel better.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, it looks like we have concluded CJ and RJ did tie half points for both of y'all. Congratulations.
All right, fair enough.
That would be it for our episode of
4.5 points before. That's like a new record, right?
I don't think that matters.
It's absolutely incredible.
I think it's totally irrelevant.
We'll be sending you kudos on the email and probably hack all your VAs for the next episode of RJ. Just letting y'all know. that actually does it for our episode of Pardon the Disruption. Please tune in every Thursday at 11:30 Arizona time.
Pacific, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern.
What Steve said. Well, either way, we'll be here coming up with a new cast or a different cast. Either way.
I'll be back, damn it. I'll be back.
With more fair people without VAs.
It might be an entire new cast if RJ's our agent. If RJ's our talent agent, you know, we might all be recast.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.